Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we are going to start the third and the final part of the chapter number 1, that is the latitude, longitude, solar system and the universe. Now today we are starting with the questions of the CDS examination. Already two parts have been uploaded and this is going to be the final parts, and we are going to complete all the questions after this video. Let us start with the question number 51. Question number 1 to 50 has already been covered in the two parts, the link of which is given in the description of this video. So the first one is, which of the following group of planet is termed as gas planet, as they are composed primarily of lighter ice, liquid and gases. So there are two types of planets. Some of them are gas planet and some of them are rocky planets. So if I talk about these rocky planets, so the inner planets of the solar system, that is the Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, these are the internal planets. Whereas if I talk about the outer planets, so these constitute all the gas planets that are termed as Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune and Saturn. Okay, why it is they are the gas planet? Because they do not have a solid surface. Okay, so B is the correct answer. Let's now move to the next question. Ozone layer, which absorbs the ultraviolet radiation, is found in which of the following layers of the atmosphere? So it is a very important question. So before telling the answer of this question, you should know the property of ozone. Now, ozone is both useful as well as it is a harmful gas. How is it so? That ozone at the stratospheric level, it means the ozone at the level of stratosphere is beneficial for the environment as it's protect the universe from the not universe but earth from the ultraviolet rays. Whereas if I talk about the harmful ozone, so this ozone is at the ground level, which mixes with other pollutants to form pollution. So ozone at ground level is very harmful for the earth, whereas ozone at the stratospheric level is useful. Okay, so which of the following layer, in which of the following layer it is found? So the ozone is found in the stratosphere. So the in-depth analysis of this question we will cover in the subsequent chapter. So this you need to know primarily, that ozone at the level of stratosphere, it is helpful for the environment. Now let's now move to the next question. The four planets closest to the earth are called, now just right now I told you the concept of the inner planets. Inner planets are also known as the terrestrial planets. There are four inner planets because these are rocky. Okay, and these constitute Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. And the outer planets, gas planets, abhi question humne kiya hi hai, so you can understand it from that the question we have solved above. So the correct answer is terrestrial planet, as this has been asked in the CDS 2020 examination. Let's now move to the next question. Which among the following star is the nearest to Earth? Now easy question hai. Proxima Centauri is the star that is nearest to the Earth. Now this Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf star that is located in the Alpha Centauri star system. Okay, it is approximately around 4.24 light years away. Now if I talk about the Sirius, this is a bright star constellation. So Sirius is a constellation. Okay, Arcturus is also a constellation. And if I talk about the Spica is also a constellation. So Proxima Centauri is the nearest star. D is the correct answer. Let's now move to the next question. Now which we have to match the list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answers. Now list 1 is the hypothesis and list 2 is the propounded by which of the following persons. Now this planestimal theory hypothesis, it was given by Chamberlain. Okay, Chamberlain contraction theory. Now this planestimal hypothesis suggests that the formation of the solar system occurred from the aggregation of small solid particles, and these small solid particles are known as the planestimals. Okay, next is the thermal contraction theory, which was given by Harold Jeffrey. Now, this thermal theory proposed that the Earth as well as the other celestial bodies are formed from the contraction and cooling of a hot, initially molten mass. Next one is the geosynclinal origin theory. This theory was given by Antony Kober. Okay, this is related to Antony Kober. It postulates that the major mountain building events, which is also known as orogenics, are a result of accumulation plus subsequent compression of sedimentary rocks in the rocks that are deep down in the depression of the earth crust. Okay. Now this hypothesis of sliding continent, this was propounded by Daly. Okay. So according to this, what is going to be the correct answer? A is the appropriate answer to this question. Now this is very important, as this hypothesis theory, it can be asked in the examination. So A is going to be the correct answer. Let's now move to the next question. Which of the following statement with regard to the winter solstice is correct? Now this concept of the summer solstice and winter solstice is related to, I've already explained this in the part 1 and part 2. So which of the following is related to the winter solstice? Now the South Pole experiences the 24-hour of darkness. Now winter solstice is a time in which there is summer in the southern hemisphere. Now this South Pole is located in the southern hemisphere, so it cannot experience 24 hours of darkness. This phenomenon of 24 hours of darkness of the South Pole, it happens in the summer solstice. Now it occurs on 21st June. This is also correct because this is an explanation of summer solstice. Now the third one is North Pole experiences 24 hours of darkness. Yes, this is absolutely true because there is summer or there is light condition prevailing in the southern hemisphere. Now next is, which one of the following statement concerning the atmosphere of the earth are correct? Now in stratosphere the temperature increases with altitude. Next is in mesosphere the temperature decreases with altitude. Next is the lowest temperature of the atmosphere is recorded on the upper part of the mesosphere, and tropopause is a isothermal zone. Now there are two layers in the atmosphere in which the temperature rises with the rise in altitude. Now these two layers are, one is stratosphere and the other one is thermosphere. Generally there is a tendency that whenever we go to increasing heights, the temperature will decrease. But in the case of stratosphere and thermosphere, the temperature tends to increase with the increase in altitude. And also I've told you few questions back that mesosphere is the coldest air. Lowest temperature is recorded in the mesosphere. So 1 and 3 is possibly true. Mesosphere temperature decreases with altitude. This is also correct because only two of these are exceptions, that is stratosphere and thermosphere. So 1, 2, 3 is absolutely correct. Now tropopause is an isothermal zone. What is an isothermal zone? First of all, let us know what is troposphere. So this troposphere is the boundary between the troposphere and stratosphere. Now in this region temperature remains constant even with the increasing altitude, which leads to the isothermal zone. So this is absolutely correct. Okay. So all of the given statement here are absolutely correct. So D is going to be the correct answer. So the next is, which of the following statements are not correct? Now the position of the sun, earth and moon in straight line of 180-degree angle is known as syzygy. Next is syzygy conjunction causes solar eclipse. Next is syzygy opposition causes lunar eclipse. Next one is syzygy conjunction occurs at the time of perihelion only. Now, if we talk about this question, this syzygy means the position at which the sun, earth and moon is in a straight line. So this statement is absolutely correct. We have to mention the not correct statement here. Now, it causes solar eclipse, it causes lunar eclipse, but the point given here is that syzygy conjunction occurs at a time of perihelion only. Now, this is absolutely incorrect. Why? Because it can occur anytime. Now, perihelion condition is then when the sun is closest to earth. Okay, when the sun is closest to earth. So D is the not correct statement here. Next is, which of the following statement is or are correct? The earth is nearest to the sun at perihelion, which generally occurs on the 3rd January. Absolutely correct. Next one is, the earth is farthest away from the sun at the perihelion, which occurs on 4th July. Now, the earth is farthest away from the sun not at perihelion but aphelion. Now, at perihelion, the earth is nearest to the sun. That is why second statement is not correct. We have to mention the correct statement here. We are going to eliminate the second statement. Now, one is correct. Let us see the third correct statement. The earth is farthest from the sun at aphelion, which generally occurs on 4th July. So, this statement is absolutely correct. Now, the earth is nearest to the sun at aphelion, which generally occurs on 3rd January. This one is incorrect. Now, what points you should remember? That earth is nearest to sun at perihelion, which occurs on 3rd Jan. Next one is, the earth is farthest away from the sun at aphelion, which occurs on 4th July. So these are the two statements that you need to know. 1 and 3 is absolutely correct. Which one of the following statement about the atmosphere is correct? Next, the statements here are, the atmosphere has definite upper limits but gradually then thins until it's become imperceptible. So this statement is not correct. The atmosphere has no definite upper limits but gradually thins until it becomes imperceptible. Yes, the second statement is absolutely correct. So B is going to be the correct answer. Okay. Next statement देखते हैं. You have to examine these two statements carefully. Select the answers from these items using the codes given below. Sidereal day is shorter than the solar day. The motion of the earth in its orbit around the sun is termed as revolution. Now, if we talk about this question, so this statement is absolutely correct. Now, if I call what is a sidereal day, so a sidereal day is a time that is taken, that the time that it takes for the earth to complete one rotation on its axis relative to the stars, which is approximately around 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds. Okay, now the rotation of the earth, you need to know, it causes day and night. And if I talk about the revolution, this revolution causes change of season. So both the statements here are absolutely true, but the second statement does not correctly explain the first statement. It is not related to first statement. So B is going to be the correct answer. Next is, the earth without rotational movement would result in. Now I already told you the rotation of the earth is related to the day and night phenomenon. So let us see which of these are related. Now option third देखो आप, only one season लिखा है. Now seasons are responsible and it relies on the revolutions of the earth, not the rotation. So third हमने eliminate कर दिया यहाँ से. Day and night cycle, it is absolutely true. तो second तो हमेशा correct होगा ही होगा. So यहाँ से we can straight away derive our answer, that is the answer is 1 and 2. Okay, let's now move to the next question. Now this question is based on the solstice. We have to match options यहाँ पे नहीं है, so directly मैं आंसर बताऊँगा आपको. This summer solstice, winter solstice, vernal and autumn equinox I have explained in the part first और second. ठीक है, तो आपने अगर वो पार्ट्स नहीं देखे हैं तो फर्स्ट आप वो पार्ट्स देख लो, उसमें सारा एक्सप्लेनेशन प्रोवाइडेड है. नाउ इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द समर सोल्स्टिस, इट हैपन्स ऑन 21st June. Winter solstice, this happens on 22nd December. Vernal equinox, it happens on 21st March. And if I talk about the autumn equinox, it happens on 23rd September. So this is the proper arrangement of this. You can just write it down. So let's now move to the next question. Which of the following statement regarding the duration of the day and night is correct? Now, the difference is least near the equator and progressively increases away it. Now, what this statement is trying to explain is, now the duration of, if I talk about the duration of day and night, so it is completely dependent on the tilt of the earth. The tilt is tilt of the earth and the rotation of the earth. Now if I talk about equator, so at equator what happens is that the equator is located at 0 degree latitude. Now the difference between day and night duration is relatively small throughout the year because the equator receives nearly equal amount of sunlight. Okay, so this is absolutely correct. Now as we move from the equator towards the pole, this duration tends to increase. So if we talk about the correct answer, the correct statement that is explaining this, so A is the correct answer. I hope you have understood this. Now let me start the next question. Now this question is related to lapse rate. Just a second, just give me 5 to 6 seconds. Now this question is, which of the following statements is difference to normal lapse rate? Now first of all you need to know what is the lapse rate. Now this normal lapse rate is the rate at which the temperature decreases with increasing altitude in the troposphere. Now this phenomenon of lapse rate is related to the troposphere, how fast the temperature declines with the rise of the altitude. Now if I talk about the normal lapse rate, it is around 6.5 degree per kilometer. Now this means that for every kilometer we go up the altitude, the temperature will decrease by 6.5%. Okay, so let us see. Temperature is highest at the ground level and it decreases with the increase in altitude. So absolutely this one is the correct option. So A is the correct answer to this question. Let's now move to the next question. Which of the following geologic time periods is associated with the first appearance of marsupials? Now the marsupials, firstly these occurred in the lower Cretaceous period. Okay, let's now move to the next question. Now in order to find out the absolute location on the map, which of the following will be required? Now to find the exact coordinates, both longitude as well as latitude is required. So if I tell you about the latitude and the longitude, latitude is a measure of a place distance north and south of the equator. Okay, while longitude is a measure of a place distance from east to west. So east to west is measured by longitude and north to south it is measured by the latitude. So this is the perfect configuration for this. So the correct answer to this question will be both latitude and longitude. Okay, C is the correct answer. Let's now move to the next question, that is 69. Now which of the following represents the inner planet? Now planet between the Earth and the belt of the asteroid, the 4 planets which I already told you about: Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Okay, these all are the inner planets. So B is the correct answer. Next is, if the equatorial plane of the Earth is not inclined to its orbit, then now the inclination of the Earth is related to the sunlight, the amount of sunlight that impacts. Now, the earth tilt, it obviously causes the season, because season is directly related to how much sunlight is there or is affecting the different hemispheres. So obviously where the sunlight is more, summer season will be there, and where the sunlight is less, there will be winter season. So no change of seasons would be there if the equatorial plane of the earth is not inclined to its orbit. Now, which one of the following processes is not a part of long wave radiation? Now, the correct answer is scattering, because the scattering is a process by which the particles or molecules of the atmosphere, they redirect the incoming solar radiation in different directions. Okay, whereas if I talk about the conduction, convention and radiation, all of this plays an important role in the transfer of energy. These are the different ways by which the energy can be transferred. Okay, so scattering is not related to long wave radiation. What long wave radiation is that it primarily involves the transfer of heat energy. Okay, so this I have already told you. So B is the correct answer here. Next is, the lowest temperature is observed, recorded in which of the following layers of the atmosphere? So the correct answer is mesosphere. I have already told you this. Next question. The presence of the ozone in the atmosphere is important. Why? Because I told you it absorbs the UV rays. Now this question is about which type of UV rays does the ozone absorbs. So the ozone is present in the upper layers of the atmosphere between 15 to 35 kilometer. Now it mostly absorbs the ultraviolet B radiations only. Okay. Now if I talk about the ultraviolet UVC lights, so these have the shortest wavelength. If I talk about the UVA, these have the longest wavelength. Okay, so B is the correct answer to this question. Now this is which of the following layers of atmosphere has a high concentration of ions? Now this layer, ions, is also related to ionosphere, and if you know that the name of ionosphere, you should know that the other name of ionosphere is also the thermosphere. Now regarding thermosphere, you need to know this point, that this layer is responsible for the solar radiation. Radioactive waves move in this layer of atmosphere. Also thermosphere is a layer in which the temperature increases with the increase of altitude. Okay, now next question is, which of the following statement relating to the solar system is or are correct? The first one is, Venus and Uranus rotate opposite to the direction of rotation of Earth. Next is, Venus is the nearest planet to the Earth. Now it is the nearest planet to the Earth, it is absolutely correct. If we talk about Earth के पहले the second number planet is Venus, and if after Earth we talk about, there is Mars. ठीक है, so the second statement is absolutely correct. If we talk about the first statement, so this is also absolutely true, that Venus and Uranus, it rotates in opposite direction to that of the Earth. Venus rotates clockwise while the Earth rotates counterclockwise. It means west to east हमारा Earth move करता है, whereas east to west Uranus and Venus move करते हैं. ठीक है, so both of the given statement here are absolutely correct. Let's now move to the next question. Now this intertropical convergence zone, a low pressure belt, is located. So this ITCZ is a low pressure belt that is located at equator. Now this is an area where the northeast and the southeast trade winds converge. Okay, this ITCZ is also known as doldrums. Now this doldrums is called by the sailors that are operating in this area, because there is windless condition in this ITCZ. So this ITCZ is present at the equator. At equator, we are a point where the northeast and southeast trade winds combine. So D is the correct answer. Now, India was a part of the Gondwana land supercontinent. It includes the following land masses of the present. Now, the part of Gondwana land were South America, it was Africa, then it was Australia, then it was India, then there was Antarctica was also part of Gondwana land, and then Arabia was also a part of Gondwana land. So all of the given options here is absolutely correct. Next question. The Sea of Tranquility is on. So this Sea of Tranquility, this is a dark spot. It is a dark spot that is present on the northern hemisphere of the moon. Okay, so D is going to be the correct answer to this question. Next is light year is the unit of, so it is the unit of distance. Next is the earth is nearest to the sun on, so this is a condition of perihelion, and I have already told you that the perihelion occurs on 3rd January. ठीक है, so A is going to be the correct answer. Next is 0 degree latitude and 0 degree longitude. It lies where? So it lies in the Atlantic Ocean. ठीक है. Now with this we are done with all the questions of this chapter. So in the upcoming videos we will continue the next chapter as well. Do like this video and comment section में बताना ये videos कैसी लगी. Till then keep studying and thank you for watching.